Good morning. So what I have going on over here behind me is I have a few seeds that I've started. I have seeds that I've started throughout the yard, front and back, and a couple tomato plants. And there's a reason for it. The reason is that little girl right there. She wants a friend. And in order for me to get her a friend, I figure I need to be able to have a reason for the friend other than just her friend. So, because I like things being, multi-purpose, multi-use. So, I've decided to sit on it and think about it for a while, and I'm hatching out a plan, and part of it is that gray shed in the back right there. I think you can see it. I'll walk back there. This sidewalk here, I don't understand it. It actually used to go, and I'll try to show you here. Right here, it curves out, and it actually goes this. You can see this light part. I actually dug that up a couple years ago. The sidewalk actually goes underneath there, and I don't really understand why. It ends as if it went to a shed back there. So that's something to consider. But this shed right here is really nice, but it's not really used for anything. It has a few tarps in it and some gardening supplies and a little table I made with some legs I had left over from another project. And it's right next to this electrical thing, and it's got a nice little window. I don't believe that window comes out, but it's sealed up really nice. And it has vents. And it's a resin shed. And it's made by Keeter. And it's 4x6. And I need a 4x6 shed for my dog's friends. Yes, I said S, friends. Because this is what I'm doing. Now, I do want to make sure that it sits on high ground and it has shade and it's protected in the winter because I do live in Michigan and it does get cold here in the winter time. And what I have here is, and I don't know if you can see the slope here, but it goes from the deck and it kind of slopes down to where the garage is. And that seems to be a little bit of a low spot, and the grass is kind of building up there. So that really kind of needs to be dug out so that it doesn't keep wanting to flow into the garage. But right here, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of a mound there. And so that's why I put some of the leaves on there, as well as along here. And I thought what I would do is this wall right here. Oops. This wall measures about 6 feet. And now this house is built in, was it 1927? I keep saying it's 97 years old, but it's getting up there anyway. And so that shed and that window where you can see the box on the other side, those are just Amazon boxes I have to take apart. But that goes to a breezeway and it's not really used for anything. So if I move that shed and somehow drag it on its foundation all the way over here and level this out, that would be a really good place to put the shed. And then I could put the pen coming out here and maybe run it down that way, so there would be lots of room there. And it's all shaded and nothing really grows there, and it's not in the way, and it wouldn't be in Piper's way. And I think that's probably where I'm going to put it. And then that way, when they are in the shed, if they're making any kind of noise whatsoever, that 6-foot wall right there will protect the noise, drown out the noise. And I didn't really want to use the Keeter shed. It's a really nice $600 resin shed. But it's either that or I buy another resin shed, which is going to cost $600. And they still have that particular model available. I really wanted to build my own shed, and I suppose I could still do that. It's just, you know, because I wanted it red with black trim. But I suppose I could make it red with green trim so that it matched the house. Just painted the house last year, but I could use that gray that's on here on the gutters or the green that's on the house, and I was wanting to make it like a barn red. But also there's a little walkway right here, kind of hard to see. It only goes out to about here. But I could put in a few more stones or, you know, whatever. But that would give me an easy way to take kitchen scraps out to them, and everything could compost right there. When the leaves fall from this giant tree, I could blow them all right here again, and they would have lots to scratch around in and get all of the bugs and worms and things that like to grow in there. I've been trying to figure out where I wanted to put it. At first I thought I might put it along here, but you know, Piper doesn't see very well, and I know she's going to have to get used to, you know, a fence line being there, but she will. Yeah, I think that would be a good spot for it. It won't be in the way, it won't be an eyesore for anyone, it's not going to be taking up any of my visual space, and it's easy access. And it's right by the water spigot here, so you know that's good also. And there's an outlet right on the other side of the house over there, so if I needed to run a heat lamp or anything like that out here, I could certainly do that. And it's built really nice. I could easily like hose it out, clean it out so that it stays. Yeah, I mean, it's going to get scratched up. There's nothing I can do about that, but you know, it's not really getting any use out there. And if I leave it where it's at with the wire right there, I can't really put a fence around it where it's protected, because that's the west and that's the south. And in the wintertime, the north is where the cold comes from. So over here it would be protected in the winter. The big tree protects it in the summertime. And I think it would work out really well right there. I would have to start with a small run area. But then over here on this side of the house, this area here gets a lot of sun, and I thought I could put up some kind of a temporary fence from the porch to that fence right across there and give them this area. I would have to piece it out, but if I got, you know, like 100-foot poultry netting or something like that, you know, a 4-foot high one to where they wouldn't be inclined to jump out, that would give them something, you know, very easy that I could let them go roam into. The fencing, I'm going to get 2x2 fencing. No, 1x1. 1x1 fencing for the run-in, for their run, just to keep, you know, other things out. The only thing I really have around here is a whole bunch of chipmunks, a lot of squirrels, rabbits. You know, none of those things are really going to hurt anything. There's some voles, and you know, if they get in the chicken coop, the chickens will get them. So, you know, they'll learn to not go in there. But then if I got a poultry netting, you know, a lot of people that I follow on YouTube, they use the Premier One, so that's the name brand that I'm used to hearing. I know that there are other brands. Part of me would like a black fencing just so that it doesn't stand out, but then part of me would want a white fencing, especially back here in the backyard, so that Piper can see it. She doesn't see very well down low, and even up high it's a little cloudy, but she gets around really well. And look at all this little clover. There's all kinds of clover here. I know my grass is high right now. I'm going to mow it later because tomorrow it's going to rain, and I want to protect it as much as possible with whatever moisture it still has in it right now. So I'll mow it at the end of the day today, and then that way when it rains tomorrow, you know, because it's going to get really hot today, and it will stay protected with the taller grass as much as possible. Otherwise, it's just going to be all brown. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited. I have, it'll be a new little adventure for me. And, oh, and there's some flowers that I'm going to try to save the seeds on. They're, I don't know, kind of considered invasive, I guess, like a dandelion or whatnot, but dandelions are edible. You know, they sell the dandelion leaves in the grocery store, but people won't pick them out of their yard. It's pretty funny. I don't put anything on my lawn. It's because I get deer back here, and rabbits and possums and all kinds of stuff. And that's another reason why I really want it kind of next to the house, so it has a little extra security. And I know that it'll be, it's really easy digging right there. And it's elevated, so, and there's gutters, so it's not going to get a lot of runoff there. The chicken coop will stay fairly dry, and, because, you know, they don't like that stuff. And they're going to match my, the color of my house. They're going to match the brick color, so that'll be pretty cool. They also won't stand out like a sore thumb. And, you know, I suppose for quite a while I will have to come out here and let them in and out all the time. Now, of course, it's going to be a while, so I have some time to figure out how to get that over there. It's really heavy. It's on a base, and it's really, really heavy. So, yeah. You know, and now what I would like is, I was initially imagining buying lumber and, you know, like some brick red paint with black trim, because the fencing is black, because again, I don't want the whole thing to stand out like a sore thumb up against the house. But red and black was going to be the theme. So if I could find like a gray or dark gray or a black or a dark red shed that was resin that I could just easily put together, that would be fine. Otherwise, I will, yeah, I don't have a vehicle. So that's still kind of a sore spot for me. You know, employers and insurance companies pointing the finger at each other just kind of irritates me. Leaving me owing on a vehicle. Now the bank doesn't have their money. I don't have any income, and anyway, so I'm going to figure out how to do this. But if I have lumber delivered, which I like building stuff, so I'm okay with that. But if I have lumber delivered, that'll be $80 for delivery. But again, it's cheaper than a house payment or a car payment or insurance for that matter. But I really want to make sure that I have all the lumber ordered that I need. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with a second $80 delivery fee, and I really want to avoid that. Aw, she's laying out there in the sun. She loves laying outside. She's an outdoor dog. She doesn't care how hot it is. She wants to be out there in the sun. But I am very grateful that I have such a big yard and that so much of it is shaded, because they'll have lots of room to run around. And that's another thing, is I want something that's movable. I was looking at the 1x1 black wire mesh, 24 inches wide, and then I was going to put that on 1x2 frames and make like 4-foot tall panels for each of those, and make several of them and tie them together for a run. That way, if I want to move it later, it's easy enough to take down. You know, I'm sure I'll be here for a while yet, but you know, I like to think about moving things around. And or if I want to extend it, you know, then it's easy enough to extend or adjust without having, you know, a bunch of stuff in the ground. And during the day, I am not worried about raccoons and possums and cats, things like that. We don't have, I haven't seen a cat or possum or raccoon in this yard since Piper's been here, and that's been 1.5 years. I've only seen deer in here, and the deer aren't going to bother the chickens. So, I'm not worried about that. But these little plants here, I have some tomato growing here. This is some old flax seed that actually sprouted, and I guess it's supposed to be a pretty flower, so I'm going to decide what to do with that, and I'll probably plant some more. This is some chard. Here I have some kale coming up. I dropped that, but it's starting to sprout anyway. Over here I have some kind of squash. I'm not sure if that's zucchini or what. I don't know what this is. It's pumpkin or it's zucchini, but there's a bunch coming up there and a few coming up there. And I'll take you around front and show you. Oh, and also the squirrels like to eat my my squash plants when they're small. So what I did is I cut off the bottom of these cottage cheese containers, and then I put the seeds in there in a hole so that way they get ventilation. But it's been working pretty well as a little greenhouse, and you know, I guess pretty soon I'll put maybe some kind of a wire mesh or something around it just to kind of keep them out, if I can figure something out. Oh, I have some netting. I don't know, they'll pull that stuff up. But over here I planted chard and kale and beets, and I do need to come out here and water it again, but you can see I have some things that are starting to come up. Those, I planted like 2 to 3 seeds in each hole, so there's some beets and things, so that's cool. And out front here, oh, this flower's open. Okay, so this is called a yellow salsify. It's very pretty. You can see that. And apparently this is an invasive plant, invasive as in like dandelions. And it's somewhere in the dandelion family, but it's obviously very, very different. I mean, this has very grassy like leaves on it. But apparently all parts of the plant are edible. And I've looked up like how to eat the root. But my thinking is that if I can plant things that are pretty like that, and that you know, come back, or that are quote unquote invasive, that spread, that I can harvest and feed to the chickens, then that'll be, you know, a little extra something in their diet. This, I don't know if they like mint, but this chocolate spearmint is also something that is kind of invasive and kind of takes over. But I needed it to fill up this hillside. Oh, and I came out here to show you. So I have more here. I got some things coming up there. I forgot what this one was. This one's butternut. That one's butternut. Hi. No, but I can bring some to you. I picked her some tea the other day, and apparently she likes it. So I'm going to take her a bunch of tea. Yeah, no, I was just making a video about what my plans are for this little project that I'm working on. Yeah, like I put a bunch of these just in hot water and I let it steep, like water from the microwave. And oh my gosh, I just love it. So good. So good. There you go. You're welcome. Hi, baby. Hi. How are you? Yeah, so I bought an incubator.
You do chickens?
I have 7 of 8 eggs right now, seem to be developing. Day 5 was yesterday. So I took pictures and everything, and hold on, who I got the eggs from. And I told her, I said, yeah, I said, well, you know, number 2 didn't end out well, but, you know, I have to have one that goes bad, so that way I have it as an example of, you know, what isn't good. And, because it's my first time doing it, right? And then I said, and then I have six hens in a row. And she says, well, how do you know you do? And I said, well, because I've manifested it. She says, I like your thinking. So I've been trying to decide where it is I'm going to put them. You know, because it'll be a couple months. Yeah, I mean, they have to hatch, and then they have to, you know, stay inside a little thing for a while, and I'll get them acclimated to the outside while it's nice out. But there's a 4x6 shed in the back, and I really, for the number of chickens that I'm going to have, and these are layers, right? They're dual purpose, but they're layers. So if I have, let's say if I have 6 hens, I'm going to get like 30 eggs a week. So I'm going to have enough for me and 2 dozen to sell every single week, roughly, you know, on and off, except for maybe in the wintertime. Yeah, so I'll have it. And my neighbors behind me already said this. She goes, I wanted to get chickens. I'm so glad you're getting chickens. I'll buy eggs from you. I'm like, okay. So,
We just had a friend, his daughter came down for her cousin's graduation, and so I got 12 fresh hen-laid eggs.
and I have a few more areas where I have some squash or zucchini or something coming up. I just came up with a brilliant idea. And this garage door here, it's sealed up. It has a cat door at the bottom, but that is sealed up also. But the height of this door opens inward. There's a curtain. My kayaks are on the other side. There's some lumber, but it's actually that lumber that I can use. I'm going to dig out the ground here and lay down some of those landscape timbers. Some of them are painted with a coating. It's kind of like a rubberized coating, so they're extremely weather resistant. Anyway, I could take the shed off from its frame, then it will be really easy to move. I can dig this out a little bit so that water isn't running in the garage. Maybe use some of those other landscape timbers to kind of create a little bit of a wall or something. There is a, actually I may have to clear out more of this, but there is a coop, a fence. It's got an aluminum frame and it just has cheap chicken wire on it. but it's really affordable. And if I use the coop, if I use the shed I already have, that makes it super duper affordable. And I can always make something else later. But what this would allow me to do is it would allow me to have the shed door facing this door, because the shed door opens out and the garage door opens in. So I would have the one open this way and the shed door would open this way. And then I could walk into the coop from the garage without leaving the house to collect eggs in the wintertime. I love that idea. And then I can just use all the money that I'm saving on the coop and the fencing to invest in an electric, probably a battery operated, automated coop door to let the chickens out into the run-in. And the door height of the shed and the door height of this garage door work out perfectly, whether I have it on that foundation that it's on now or not. So I know when I put it on a lower foundation, it's going to work out great still. And the height of it, when it's on the lower foundation, will fit underneath the edge of the roof here. And the coop, it will fit inside of the coop, the aluminum framed chicken wire coop or pen. So the shed will be inside the pen. It will open, because I won't put the gate on it, and then I'll just have the door opening right there. And I think it's about the same size opening as that shed. I haven't measured that yet. But then I think that'll work out perfect. I think it'll work out perfect. And if I need to fill in anything in the gap, I can just, get some lumber. I do have some lumber around here, like those landscape timbers. That would be fine to put in there. But yeah, I think that's going to work out perfect. I'm super excited. Can't believe I just figured all that out. I need to look at the size of the door opening on the coop. I'm going to get the bigger one. It's 13 feet because the pen, the chicken pen, the coop is 6, and that's basically going to take up half of the length, and they'll be able to go most of the way around it. Or actually maybe I should just make a little, make it so they can go all the way around it. I have their food and water that I want outside. I don't really want it in the coop. But also, if the coop is on those landscape timbers, it'll be really easy to move, even after I put perches and nesting boxes in there. That'll be super easy. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. However, I do still have to figure out how to get this door open. It's nailed shut, or it's screwed shut, or it's something. It's not good. And then I'll probably need to, if the jamb on the outside looks fine. Well, the handle is locked for one. I don't even know if I have a key for it, but I should be able to change the handle on the inside. Again, getting a new handle is going to be a lot cheaper than, all this other money going into everything else. And then I'll actually be able to use the door, which I wasn't able to use it before. So, yeah, I'm excited. I did it. I pulled the trigger. I went ahead and as I was measuring this area right here, and considering, you know, is it going to fit underneath the roof right there or right here, and is the shed short enough to fit underneath the eaves? Is it short enough to fit inside of the run? And, you know, then I got to thinking that I really wanted one that had a flat roof or an arched roof versus the pointed roof. And, you know, these aren't super tall to begin with, and I'm not super tall to begin with, but it will, I should, it will allow the coop to go inside of the run. And then if I keep it about 2 feet away from this door, oops, that door, if I keep it about 2 foot away from the door, both of the doors are on the shed and on the run are 2 foot wide. So if I have the shed door open up one way, and if I have the coop door or the run door open up the other way, then I can have them rest on the inside of the door jamb here. And then that way nothing can get out. It will, you know, I mean, I suppose a bird can go in my garage if, you know, one were to rush by me. But yeah, and it's way cheaper than what it was for me to buy the lumber and the netting and all of the everything and the delivery fee. So, because of course Amazon is delivering it for free. So that right there is saving me 80 bucks right off the top. But I got this for like 200 bucks. You know, whenever you check the used things, there was 2 of these that were available, and it's twice the size of what I was initially measuring. I was initially looking for just something to get me started, you know, the smallest size, which was generally like 9x6, but with the shed in there, it's going to take up, you know, most of that space, because the shed is 4x6, so that's half of the run. And now I don't have to worry about that because I got one that's twice the size for less than what it would cost for me to build it, with lumber. And I don't have to worry about painting it. I don't have to worry about it going bad. Even the galvanized wire, now it is chicken wire, and I'm not a fan of chicken wire. Nobody is a fan of chicken wire. It does keep the birds in, but I got the green coated, so I don't have to worry about when I pull the chicken wire over the aluminum frame. I don't have to worry about it like scraping and all that. I don't like the sound of it. You know, plus if I ever have to take it down, you know, rolling it up is going to be a little easier too, or, you know, getting rid of it, whatever. And I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm finding exactly what I wanted, and the size that I wanted, and the price range that I wanted, because that's how life works, you know. When we throw these ideas out, these thoughts and these things that we want, and we're like, okay, well, I want this, but I want it this size, or, you know, I want it this style, or I really don't like this, I'd like the coated ones. And I really wanted the black coating, but I didn't find any black coated chicken wire. So if there's any black coated chicken wire out there, somebody let me know, because I would like it to match the neighbor's fencing. You know, they have black coated chain link, but at least it will match better, and it doesn't show up as much as an actual fence. But, you know, green is better than aluminum colored, so yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get that door opened. I got the other door in the house open that I hadn't been in for 4.5 years, so now I'll be able to get in this door. I may have to take a crowbar to it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I have to check that lock first and see if I can get that handle off. I'm pretty sure my house key doesn't work to it because I had my house rekeyed when I moved in, and I did not have that lock redone because the door is nailed or screwed shut or something. I mean, it's permanently shut. So, but now I should be able to use it, and I'll be able to walk right into the coop, regardless of whatever the weather is outside. And oh my goodness, I need to color my hair again. But yay, I'm excited. I'm excited.